It's Thursday, which means checking in with our live colleagues for some weekend ideas.
South Korean superstar Gong Yoo is back on the big screen after 2 years with sci-fi action film Seo Bok. Now you can catch it in local cinemas from today.
Now, Gong Yoo is reason enough for me to see this one, but journalist Jan Lee is here with a quick review. So Jan, South Korea has produced critically acclaimed films in the sci-fi thriller genre. A big budget, of course, helps as well. What else can you tell us about Seo Bok and how it stands out from the rest in this particular genre?
From what I know, this is pretty big budget by South Korean standards. So, we can always look forward to a little bit more action scenes. It looks like, they trained for it. If you see the trailer, Park Bo-gum and Gong Yoo both look like they are involved in some car chases and maybe some fight scenes. So that's good. South Korea is also really good, like you said, at specific genre films like Train to Busan, which Gong Yoo was also the star of, was a big hit. But I think hard sci-fi, like human clones, which this story is about, is not something that they've really explored thoroughly yet. So I'm quite excited to see what happens.
Right. Let's talk about the cast, Jen. Gong Yoo is paired with another respected actor in his own right, Park Bo-gum. What can we expect from this duo?
So in this movie, Gong Yoo plays like a retired intelligence officer, and then he is tasked to protect the first human clone in history, which is played by Park Bo-gum. And the human clone apparently holds the secret to eternal life, which is why he is hunted. So, there's definitely some chemistry there because Gong Yoo's character is mortal, whereas Park Bo-gum's character is not. So there's some philosophical discussions of the questions of life and death and what does it mean to be alive and what does it mean to live. And, I think Gong Yoo, we know of him more as a versatile actor because he has had a longer experience in the industry. He has a larger filmography. But Park Bo-gum, I think people tend to remember him from really slice of life / romantic dramas like The Recent Record of Youth, or like Encounter, or like Reply in 1988, Love in the Moonlight. So it's quite interesting to see him challenge something that is hard sci-fi, that doesn't seem to have a lot of romantic elements in it. There's a little bit more, I would say, serious and action-based.
Well, thanks very much, Jan. That was journalist Jan Lee on the new South Korean sci-fi action movie Seo Bok. It stars Gong Yoo and Park Bo-gum, and it's out in cinemas today.
Food editor Tan Shui-yin has a perfectly Instagrammable cafe to recommend next. It's Cafe de Nicole's Flower. Now, in an article already out, Shui describes it as the lair of a hoarder with flair.
Well, that sounds a bit too much for me, but let's have Xue tell us more. So Xue, what should patrons, prepare themselves when they first step into this cafe?
Okay. First, it's really popular, so book before going. Otherwise, you might not get a table. Okay. And then the other thing is when you walk in, have your phone on video mode because you're going to want to take footage of everything. This cafe is delightfully over the top. And if you need escape from your home office or you need escape from anything, or not being able to travel, go to Cafe de Nicole's Flower. It's in Telok Kurau. And just go spend an afternoon there, listening to music, looking at the amazing decor, and have some really good souffle pancakes.
Right, but it's not just about the atmosphere, right, Shui? What about the food? What can you say about the menu?
Yeah. Okay, so with a place like that, usually when you go into some place that looks like, it belongs on an Instagram post, right? You're not going to be very confident about the food. You're going to say, yeah, maybe it'll be nice, whatever. You're just there to take pictures of decor. But I had two things. One is Romeo and Juliet. It's really a matcha latte with strawberry ice cream and Pocky. Anyone who has read anything I've written in the last 20 years will know that I'm obsessed with Pocky. And it's so good because the matcha is really nice and bitter. And then there's, and it's not sweet. And the strawberry ice cream is a good, strawberry ice cream. I'm not sure if it's house made, but it was really good. And on a hot day, it was fantastic. It was just instant cooling down. And then a friend of mine had told me that the souffle pancakes were really good. and I was really surprised. So like angel wings, like, and then they wobble and they jiggle, and it's not too sweet, and oh, I just love everything about those pancakes. I had the strawberry version. So there you have 3 thick pancakes, and then that's crowned with whipped cream, not sweet at all. And then there's like rivers of strawberry sauce running down, the top, down the stack of pancakes, and then there's sliced strawberries everywhere, scoop of strawberry ice cream. Oh, it was so good. I just wanted to finish the whole thing. I almost did.
Well, thank you very much, Xue. As she said, if you're looking for an escape from the humdrum, check out Cafe de Nicole's Flower at 224 Telok Kurau Road.
Still on food, if you're craving kimchi fried rice or products and produce from Japan, several e-commerce platforms here are allowing customers to buy food from all over the world.
And here to share more is travel correspondent Clara Locke. So Clara, could you give us some examples of such platforms and what they sell?
Sure. So one of the platforms that have come up as a result of the pandemic is Blue Basket, and they bring in Korean products. So they've got things like Korean fruits, homeware, as well as ready-to-eat meals. Now the founder says that people in Singapore do like Korean food, but they just might not have the ingredients or the know-how to cook it at home. So that's why she brings in ready-to-eat frozen meals, which have become really popular in South Korea, also as a result of the pandemic, when popular restaurants and brands send this out to people who were at home because of the lockdown. So some items that have done really well on the website are things like tteokbokki soup. So tteokbokki is like this street food. It's chewy rice cakes. And it comes in a packet where it's got like the rice cakes and then different soup sachets and a little bit of ingredients. And then you can throw in your own vegetables, maybe cook an egg, and then it becomes a full meal. So it's really good for busy people in Singapore, along with, other things like fried rice of various flavors, fruits like tangerines from Jeju Island, which are larger than, the regular oranges that we get here. And they're more fragrant and they're also seedless. So it's like super fun and convenient to eat. Another website that has also done really well because of the pandemic is the French Grocer. Now, this has been around for some time, but it saw orders quadruple the day Singapore's circuit breaker was announced last year. And so a lot of people were ordering things like baking products, meat and seafood. And the founder says that now, even though we've gone back to shopping at grocery stores, the overall volume of orders has still increased because people are kind of more used to ordering things online now, and they're open to having things sent to their doorstep.
Right. And do their products differ from what's sold in our supermarket chains? Or, are they more expensive or fresher?
So I think with these platforms, they try really hard to differentiate themselves by selling stuff that people can't get off a supermarket shelf. So one way they do that is by making their own items, and that's what Shinsen Fresh Online Grocer does. They work with a local Japanese restaurant to make their own Japanese butter. So they infuse the butter with things like truffle and mentaiko and tomatoes. And if you've ever had Japanese milk, it's super rich and creamy, and the butter has a similar mouthfeel and taste. So it's very convenient to have a jar of that in your fridge, and you can just like slather it on toast for breakfast or have it on crackers for a midday snack while we work from home. Also, because they import Japanese products and Japanese fruits, some of the fruits inevitably can't get sold because they come and they're a bit bruised or they're imperfect, or sometimes there's just excess stock. So what the platform does is convert these fruits into jam and preserves. So you get all kinds of Japanese fruit jam like Kyoho grapes, Japanese strawberries, yuzu marmalade, and again, a very convenient thing to have in your fridge and also very unique.
Well, thank you so much, Clara. I think I'm going to check that out.
I want to check the Korean one out, the Korean e-platform,
Yeah, well, we've been speaking with travel correspondent Clara Locke.
Now, tomorrow's live section has more ideas on what you can do over your weekends. For more news and videos, visit straitstimes.com.